about 4 feet across. And he was an expert at everything. He could ride anything that would move. He could rope anything that would move. He was an expert pistol shot. Just a great person. He was, in fact, the Paul Bunyan of the ocean. So it's like
The
Paul
ocean?
Bunyan of the ocean.
He was a seagoing cowboy.
He's a seagoing
Oh,
cowboy.
seaboard.
So that's how we earned
A
the name.
seaboy.
Bow-legged Bill, the seagoing cowboy. Well, we don't know exactly how, but he somehow migrated from the ranch out in Montana to the east coast of the United States, and he ended up in Gloucester, Massachusetts. And he signed up on a whaling ship because he had heard that whaling was, there were 3-year voyages in those days, but that whaling was good money. And Bow-legged Bill figured, well, if he went on a whaling ship, maybe he'd make enough money to buy himself a ranch and make his way back to Montana. So he signed up on a whaling ship called the Honor Bound, was the name of the ship. And the Honor Bound was a good ship. It had a captain whose name was Alex. Now, Alex had been on the ocean almost all of his life. I mean, he hadn't spent too much time on land. But it's during this particular stop, he watched a parade, like a 4th of July parade. And in the parade, there was a marching band. And in the marching band, someone had a great big tuba. Well, Captain Alex fell in love with the sound of the tuba. He just thought that was the most wonderful thing in the world. So he decided he needed to get one of those for himself and learn to play. So he bought a tuba, brought the tuba back on the ship, and the honor-bound ship took off with the captain, the tuba, and Bow-legged Bill. Well, they sailed down south, then around South America, and then up in the Pacific where the whaling area was. It was 181 days to go all the way around to get up to the whaling area. And during that 181 days, Captain Alex spent almost every day in his cabin playing that damn tuba, trying to learn how to play. Well, after 181 days, he was driving the crew crazy and couldn't stand it anymore. They finally got up to the whaling area, and they saw a whale, and someone yelled out, "There she blows," you know, and the whales come up and they spout water. And the captain wasn't interested. He kept playing the tuba, playing the tuba. So after 2 or 3 weeks of this, they couldn't get the captain out of his cabin to let the whaling boats go and start whaling, which is what everybody came for. The crew was going crazy. So finally one day, they spied a giant whale. It was really a big one. They said, "This is the one, we got to get this one." The whale came up close to the ship, and everybody on board the ship wanted to get the boats down and get this whale. So they went down to the captain, and he wouldn't come out. He was playing the tuba. So finally, Bow-legged Bill said, "I've had enough of this." Down he went into the captain's cabin. He roped and hog-tied the captain, and came back up with the tuba. And he said, "Now we're going to get some whales." And so everybody started lowering the boats. And Bow-legged Bill took this tuba, and just as a lark, he stood up on beside the rail of the ship, and he started blowing through this tuba. Sure enough, the whale, the big whale, came right up beside the ship. And Bow-legged Bill kept blowing. He wasn't playing, he didn't know any songs. He was just blowing through the tuba. And the whale followed along with the ship. And so they went. And Bow-legged Bill blew through that tuba for about 2 hours, and he was starting to get out of breath. Finally, he jumped up on the side of the rail, and this whale was really close to the ship. He said, "I christen you." He said to this whale, he said, "I christen you Tuba Tommy." And he took that tuba and he stuffed it down into the whale's blowhole. And then he took an oar from one of the ships and he pounded it in so that that tuba was stuck down in the blowhole, so hurricanes, waves, nothing would ever make that tuba come out of that whale's blowhole. Well, sure enough, the whale started sounding, and every time he came up and blew out, he blew through the tuba. Well, he did. Come on now, don't let. So he blew through the tuba. Well, the whale followed on the ship for a couple hours, blowing through the tuba. Then the sun went down and the whale disappeared, but they could hear him miles off, blowing through this tuba. Well, the next day, the sun came up and over the horizon, here came the whale coming back towards the ship, blowing through the tuba, and following him the whole passel of other whales. And what they figured was that he must have been playing whale tunes through that tuba, because all the other whales were just so enthralled with what he was doing. And sure enough, then they put the boats down and they caught lots of whales. Well, that went on for several days, and they got all the whale blubber that they needed, and they never touched Tommy the Tuba, the whale. Tommy Tuba, the whale. So, they got all the whale oil that they started sailing back home, and Tommy Tuba went off over the horizon. And to this day, he may still be there, out there blowing through the tuba. Now, if you don't think this is a true story, some foggy night, you get down by the ocean, and you'll hear something that may sound like a foghorn to you, but it may just be Tommy Tuba blowing through the tuba.